ever.
Let there be 1,000 blossoms bloom.
No forced redundancies.
Sit down, Brisbane. You sit down.
G'day and welcome to Unpacked, our podcast where we unpack a sandwich and some issues of the day. I'm Stephen Miles, Queensland Labor Leader.
And I'm still Corinne Mulholland, Senator-elect for Queensland.
Excellent. And soon to be Senator.
Soon to be.
And I'm excited about our guests today, Corinne.
These guys are legit podcasters.
Amongst my favourite podcasters, probably my favourite Queensland podcasters.
Oh, and you went on the podcast?
Yes, I went on it, as did the PM.
He did during the campaign, went to the Caco and did a session with the
so
guys.
we think our studio is pretty great, but these guys record from upstairs at the Caxton Hotel.
That's living. That is living.
Iconic.
Absolutely iconic. I know they're doing a bit of a work at the moment to try and get upstairs at the Caco listed as a tourism destination. So
Yeah.
and even putting on Google Maps as well. So well done, guys.
Yeah, well, it's some stories about Alfie.
There are some stories about
someone would
Alfie
need to,
intrinsically linked to Brisbane Rugby League folklore.
All right, well, let's get them in. Klutz and Das.
Hello, how are you? Hey. Thanks for making the trek all the way from the Caco.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's hard to get us out of there.
I don't think I've ever seen you outside of it.
Yeah, I actually don't think
That's a
you
pretty
would
cool
know.
claim to fame.
Yeah.
Live, work, drink at the Caxton.
We have some friends from Sydney who come up. We do a bit of work with them from Budgie Smuggler, and one of them came up for Magic Round. It was her first time in Brisbane, and we took her to Felons for lunch on the Monday, and she said, I've been in Brisbane for 4 days, and this is the first time I left the Caxton. So
I love that it was to go to Felons.
Yeah, exactly right. Having a beer at Felons. Yeah.
And that's that's a massive festival environment, Magic Round. Like the street is properly shut down. Yep. It's jumping castles, messy humans on jumping castles.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best.
Wonderland. It's like Disneyland. Magic Round all the time.
Yeah, it's like rugby league Christmas.
That's what we said last year, rugby league Christmas. Yeah, so it's it's amazing. I actually missed it this year. It was my partner's 30th weekend away at Noosa.
You couldn't try and bring those.
It falls on her birthday pretty much every year, and pretty much every year I've skipped it. But it was the 30th this year, and we had the trip booked, so Klutzy had to fly the flag. But he did a good job.
Very, very tough carry.
AirPods in, phone up against
Do not disturb, yeah. No social media for me. I just full blacked out. So
Yeah, it's a big couple of days. It's a very big couple of days.
Shouldering that massive burden, you know?
Yeah. It was just, I had to put everything on my back and just keep trucking, so it was good.
What's your strategy? Because I find one game of rugby league is about the right amount of beer for me, and so 3 games in a row is a lot.
We usually don't go to the football. we just stay at the Caxton, but it's there's always
Just cut out the middleman.
Yeah, pretty much. There's so much going on there now. Like the NRL, when they set up in actual Caxton Street, there's so many activations. So you can, it's literally like being a little theme park for rugby league.
literally, we get asked every year, like, oh, should I get tickets? What game should I go to? And we don't even get them. We don't even go to the footy. Like, there's just so much happening, not only at the Caxton, but in the street. It's literally like a festival. So it's one of the greats.
Last year I was next to the infamous Canterbury Bulldogs box, and you think you've seen people going hard, but that is next level. And that was game 1.
Yeah,
so
that's rugby league.
that is rugby league. So
We love it.
That's why we love it.
Stuff.
Well, Chris Minns is a big Bulldogs fan, New South Wales Premier, so
Dramas.
They're doing all right this year.
They're doing very well.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of the doggies.
Yeah, we're back though, so it's all good. All we needed to do was play the Titans. We're back. Premiership, I reckon, this year, so it's all good.
That was a good win. Although I feel for the Titans.
Yeah, I
They've got a
know.
soft spot, and
Yeah.
It's like if we had to flog someone.
Yeah.
Couldn't it have been
Anyone
Manly?
else? Yeah, exactly. Or the Bulldogs. Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. We should get into this. First of all, can you guys just introduce yourselves to our audience and tell them about your podcast?
Yeah, sweet. Well, I'm Klutz.
And I'm Das.
And we do the Bloody Brilliant Beers podcast. We've been going for, about 5 years now? Yeah. We originally started off as a craft beer review page on Facebook during COVID, actually. Well, just before COVID, but I think we sort of really got into our work during COVID. Couldn't really...
all that working from home.
Yeah, well, it was great. BWS up the road, they had a special on... random craft beers, so I drank a lot of craft
Little
beers.
6-packs, and you can mix and
Yeah,
match.
you can mix and match.
Yeah,
All
so
my cans that I had
familiar.
over over lockdown are actually in the Caxton bottle shop now. I was trying to collect one of one of each can and then like set them up so that I could look back at my craft beer journey. Now it's just on
That is
display
a
in the
pandemic
Caxton.
achievement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What an achievement it was.
We originally set out, like we had this Facebook group, which was just blew up, and it was basically people reviewing craft beers, as Clutzy said, but we wanted to have it from the lens which we sort of looked at it through, which was, we were standard lager 4X Gold drinkers, and you see all these craft beers and they're, $30 for 4. It's like, I don't want to spend that if I don't know what I'm drinking. So a lot of the stuff we saw online was like, very like, what's the word? Like that other group.
There was another group on Facebook, and it was just you put your opinion up, and then you get absolutely roasted in the comments.
They're
and
talking
it was
about
just-
mouthfeel and how and we like it's either good or it's
Not
not
about
good.
that,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I'm on a Best Pie Facebook group, and it's just like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I get so passionate about
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
like just blew up.
So we did that, and it blew up because everyone thought it was hilarious. Like, these beers, we're reading these labels that we didn't even understand and having to be like, no, that sucks, or this one's good, or whatever. And we're like, oh, there's something here. Like, we should, make it a bit bigger. And the original plan was to do, as Josh said, a craft beer podcast and sit down with brewers and go out to breweries and do tours and vlogs and all that sort of stuff. And then when COVID hit, everything shut. So we didn't post any content for like a month. And I was like, oh, we've got to do something. Like we got to
Feed
do
the beast.
Yeah. So it was just an excuse for us to catch up on Zoom once a week and try different craft beers. And it sort of just went from us interviewing people to just us, just talking. And then once we got out of COVID, we sort of just kept rolling with that. And beers it's always like beers adjacent, I say, like a lot of content being on the beers, as opposed
It's
to
very rugby league heavy.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's certainly getting that way. But in the early days, we used to get our mates on as well, bring them into the Caxton, and no one wants to come on anymore. But it was great. Like, we've been mates since we were, grade 8, so 13. And,
You went to school together?
went to school together at Morris at Ashgrove. Okay. So, known each other for a long time now. And it was funny, like, you get all the boys on and you just start going on a tangent about stuff that's happened from year 8 all the way up to now, and just like recounting stories, and people
Very
seem to
niche
like it.
very niche content.
Very, very niche. And like, we'd say, not so much now, but we'd always say like inside jokes and then be like, oh, there's actually other people listening and have no idea.
We'll
what
be
we're
talking
going
about
on
someone that we went to school with, and it's
Yeah.
like no one knows who we're talking about. But yeah.
So
All learnings along the way, I guess.
but it's certainly evolved a lot now. Like, we've got 3 different shows. We've got a call show where people call in, and that's one of my favourites because people can be themselves on there, create personas and whatnot, and then general chit chat and sport. So it's good fun.
Yeah. We're just starting out with our podcast. Have you got any advice for us?
I reckon the biggest thing is start, like, everyone's probably got a friend out there who says, I've got this podcast idea, blah, blah, blah. And I always say to people, like, you learn more from doing your first 10 episodes than anything you're going to find online. And even, like, there's some stat, I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's like there's such a small percent of podcasts that make it to 100 episodes. So, like, if you can get to 100 episodes, the amount of stuff you'll learn just from literally doing everything is crazy. So that's what I always say to people. Like, people come up to us all the time and go, oh, I've got this idea, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, just start. It's like, oh, I've got to wait till, I'm getting this camera. It's like, well, film it on your phone. Like, find a way to do it. Like, our first show was filmed at my mum's old house, sitting on her back table like this with both of our laptops and Apple headphones recording straight onto the computers. Like, it's our second or third ever episode was with Dennon Kemp, who has a massive bloke podcast down in Sydney, and he agreed to come on our show, and we went down to his bar in Broadbeach and we filmed it on a GoPro and tried to use these lapel mics, and the mic didn't work, so it's literally GoPro audio sitting in like the Broadbeach
In
mall.
Broadbeach, with just all the wind howling through.
And that's still on our feed. Like, if you go all the way down, it's still on our feed. So I think, like, just doing the things. Yeah, exactly. And I think, like, just from doing that, we learnt so much. So yeah, I would just say the number one thing I always say to people is just jump in.
Just do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just got to have a crack. Consistency and having a crack. Yeah.
And I love that story about you working through the craft beers and COVID. My favourite COVID I've got a lot of COVID stories, but my favourite COVID story is when we had the toilet paper shortages and everything.
Yeah.
And Dan Murphy's had this brilliant campaign where they started putting up signs on their doors that says all customers will be limited to 2 cartons of beer, 2 bottles of spirits, and 6 bottles of wine. And all of a sudden, everyone who was dropping in for a 6-pack had 2 cartons of beer, 2 bottles of rum.
Great marketing strategy.
Yeah, that's
I was
so
like, that is
good.
really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like the bottle shops did pretty well during COVID, I think. It was...
Yeah, thanks to us.
Yeah.
And that was lots of other countries, when they closed hospitality, they closed their bottle shops, and we were like, no.
No, you can't do that.
Essential services.
The cornerstone of the Australian economy. We cannot, we will not.
Well, I remember when the pubs shut. Like, I remember hearing rumours, the pubs are going to shut. I was like, there's no way they're going to shut the pubs. And like, even thinking about when we went to the Caxton, it was one of our friends' birthday, when they just started easing the restrictions, and he booked out the entire pub, and there was like 10 of us for dinner. That's all they could have in there. It's just wild to think back to that. Yeah, that's what we went through. But
So it was good for us though with the podcast, because technically our workplace was at the pub, so we weren't making money. So we essential workers at the pub. So once it opened up a bit, we could go there for work, which was
Had
great.
to run the lines a couple of times.
Yeah,
Just make sure they were firing. Hate them to misfire.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
that's
I got
it.
to do all of those announcements when we were reopening. We did one at the Bricky Creek and one at the Paddo.
Yeah.
And the media would insist on me having a beer, even though it was like 9:45 in the morning. I was like, yeah, it was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, it sounds like a very tough gig.
All right, well, we've gotten into this a bit already. This is our first segment we call Bread and Butter, and it's kind of get to know our guests. But you've got into a bit of that already. Das, you used to work at U Foods, though?
Yep. Yeah. So I studied a few things at uni. Straight out of school, I thought that I wanted to do occupational therapy, and then didn't get a good enough OP score, so did a year of exercise science, which is like a similar sort of area, and then went across, did that for like 2.5 years, and I was like, I don't like this at all. So then decided I was going to study business, ended up doing marketing, and my first gig, I actually worked there and a small clothing company here in Brizzy called Ep.3, who used to make these party shirts, like matching party shirts and shorts. So I got to my last semester of uni, and I wasn't the greatest student, I guess you could say. Like, frequented the Royal Exchange Hotel on a Wednesday, and, oh hello on a Thursday, like lots of that sort of stuff. So when I got to my last semester, I was like, geez, I'm gonna have a business degree, but so does every man and their dog. So I better try and get a bit of work experience and just put feelers out, basically anyone I knew, to try and just get an internship, and worked for free there at U Foods for 8 weeks, and then they gave me a part-time gig, which then when I graduated, they gave me a full-time gig. So it was my first sort of step into like a full-time job.
Were you doing marketing? Were you on the ovens and the fryers?
I was
just like
it was actually crazy. Like, the business went through a massive period of growth, probably just before I started, but it was still like, since leaving there, I've had other corporate jobs in like probably bigger, more traditional businesses. And I didn't realize at the time, but it was such a big business with such like a startup sort of culture. Like, there was days where things would happen and the marketing team would literally be packing orders, and like it would be busy, and we're in the warehouse like stacking shelves and stuff like that. So it was actually a really cool environment. Like, everyone was sort of happy to roll their sleeves up and get stuck into basically anything.
So you did make some food.
I
Long
never
way of
did.
saying you did make some
I never
food.
did, but I packed orders and things like that. So yeah.
What's your favourite U Foods meal, though?
Oh, it used to be this one. It was like an oven pot pie or something. It had like a crust on top. It was so good. And we used to get cheap U Foods as well, so I used to eat a lot of them. Yeah. But yeah, that was sort of my first job out of uni.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Klutz?
Me, I've done a lot of, I was hospitality a lot. I tried the uni route. I've tried business. I've tried, I wanted to get into physio. Just studying really wasn't for me. I preferred to live my life a little bit and go out and have too much fun. But I always liked the idea of earning money and then spending all that money. So I did Macca's for a while. I did management at Mac. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Earning money, spending money.
Yeah, it's just don't have much left now. But No, I was a manager at Macca's for a while. Then I
Which
did
Macca's?
Newmarket.
Newmarket. That's
Yeah.
a good, Bank Street.
Yeah, on Bank
good
Street
spot,
there.
yeah.
So I was there for ages. I ended up at Grilled at Everton Park. Loved that. Did Miss K's. Did all that. But I actually wanted to go back and do uni. When was it? 2021 maybe. I was going to go back and do teaching. Yeah. I've always had this idea about being a teacher. But because we're a lot older now, I'd been out of school for more than 10 years. So I had to do a maths degree, and I was sort of like, I'm not going to stay doing hospitality for any longer. Like, I just can't do it. And I saw something on Facebook from a mate about a plumbing apprenticeship. So I actually ended up doing plumbing for a little bit. Didn't get to the end of it. Decided to have a crack at the podcast instead. But yeah, I was doing plumbing for about 2.5, 3 years, which was good fun. Did a lot of the social housing, actually. I was just saying before, there's a photo of me, I think it's on Megan Scanlon's Instagram, where she went out to one of the sites and it was like interviewing and having a chat to some of the apprentices. And it's just me with my hard hat that I could never keep on my head. Just looking.
The big melon.
Yeah, exactly. But it just always looks so funny when they say apprentice, and then it's like myself, who's this older, quite tall, quite large dude. Not the typical apprentice that you'd think of, but yeah, I've done a lot of different things. Don't have degrees, don't have anything like that, and now we're doing the podcast and.
So you're full time on the podcast,
Yeah.
Bloody Brilliant Beers. If people haven't subscribed, they should.
Yeah.
And you're huge now. It's massive.
Getting there, yeah. It's been it's one of those things. Like Das does all the heavy lifting. I'd say like we've been plugging along for ages. Like when Das was working at his previous job and coffee club and everything when he was there as well. Like he'd have his 9 to 5, but then he's up at 6:30 editing before work, and then he's editing after work, and it was just like it's funny now. We have this like fairly big social platform, and people, as Das was saying before, they always ask, "How do you get there?" It's like, well, there's so much that happens in the background and in the lead up to it. There's a lot of hours and a lot of things that people don't see. Yeah. So it's
That's right. I think people tuning in probably just think you guys rock up, chat for an hour and launch it.
The most common question we get is,
So what do you do with the rest of the day?
The most common question that we get is, how do I get heaps of listeners, or how do I get a following? It's like, well, do the hard work. Yeah. Like you just got to keep plugging along and getting it out there.
That's people say, like, how did you start getting listeners? It's like, well, we didn't. Like, it took us 3-4 years before anyone started listening.
I think we had, what was it, in the first year we had
like, I remember
3,000
so
or 4,000
clearly.
total
No,
listeners.
it was less than that. Because I remember, oh no, you're right, it was 4,000. It was 18 months. I remember I was living with my girlfriend's parents, been at work all day and then up all night editing, and it was like midnight and a file corrupt or something, and I had to start again. And I just watched this video, someone on YouTube being like, how to monetize your podcast. And it basically was like, you can sell an ad, $60 per 1,000 listens. And I was like, we've only got 4,000 in 18 months. That's like $240. What am I doing with my time? So
You've got some serious sponsors now.
Yeah.
McDonald's. You're into the hair loss supplements.
Yeah, we've done a few, like lots
doing a
of
few different
random
things. Yeah, we're just
Sorry? Yeah, we did some stuff with Domino's for Origins, a bit of street talk stuff. It hasn't come out yet, so
very excited about that one, actually. It was probably my favourite product they've had, not to plug, but they've got a meat pie crust pizza.
4 and 20 collaboration.
Yeah. It's just, like, I didn't have to put on anything for that at all. Like, I was just pounding that pizza on Caxton Street, loving it. It was awesome. It was so good.
Domino's is a great. A lot of Brisbane people wouldn't know that this the biggest pizza company in the world, is based here.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Insane. Yeah, just where is it? Eagle.
Portside.
Yeah, Portside there. It's great. Yeah. It's pretty cool. We got to go into the office last year, and they've just got this giant kitchen upstairs where they just essentially are just trying all these new things all the time.
That's a job.
Dream job.
That's a job.
Yeah.
Jeez, I'd be good at that, eh? Oh, my Lord.
You're a bit like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory
Literally,
with pizzas, right? Just
like talking about eating a lot of U-Foods working there, I reckon if I worked at Domino's, I'd be in a lot of trouble. Like, a lot of trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon there's three kind of you've made it points here, right? First one is the Prime Minister asked to go on your show.
Yeah.
The second one is Klutz, you won the most ordinary rig competition. So there's people nationwide admiring your body.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And then one of your listeners got your names tattooed on them. Yeah.
We've had
There's a couple, I think.
yeah, we've had a couple. We've had Benny recently got the
He got this Spotify code on his leg with the logo. Yeah.
logo,
Yeah. That's
Like a
recent
QR
as well.
code, so you
Sort of
walk
like-
up with your camera. And
Yeah, I think that's how it works.
yeah, it's like some weird. It's like
looks
their
a
version of a
waveform,
QR
but I think
code.
it's a
Yeah.
QR, like style. You can scan it with your camera. Yeah.
So we got that, and then Loza's got our
She actually has our faces.
yeah,
No.
she's-
Yeah. So we did a collaboration beer with Revel Brewing a couple of years ago, and it had a depiction of us on the can, and she's got that on her leg. So
strawberry and cream sour it was.
Yeah.
We've got these like cartoon faces.
Caricature with like big,
Yeah, like
massive
big
little
heads.
bodies.
And yeah, she's got that on her leg now. We're an esteemed company actually because she's also a big fan of Hamish and Andy. So she had something from Hamish and Andy on her legs. She's like, oh, it's my favorite podcast. I'm like, if we're next to someone who like admires Hamish and Andy, no, I think that's just
they've just done us pretty dirty with the drawings there, but
It's a very red lip.
yeah.
dirty. Oh, I have a chiseled body. I'm happy.
It's a very large strawberry.
Yeah.
Just positioned there in place.
Yeah, overcompensating.
So which one of you is strawberry?
Yeah. It's yeah. That was a fun time. It's a fun story actually. That beer
I reckon I'd be the strawberry and you'd be the cream.
cream, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because the cream's always on top.
That beer actually ended up being voted number 14 in the Gab's Hottest 100. That
Yeah,
year,
the
so-
whole reason why we did this is the brilliant thing about the podcast, I think, is what we found is you got this like community that gets behind you. And the whole point of doing that was they got the Gab's Hottest 100 and we said this is basically just like a popularity contest. Right. So our idea was if we could partner up with a brewery and create a beer and push our listeners, how high up a chain could we get to show that this is literally just a popularity contest?
we only
And
brewed
ended up getting
100 cartons of it.
apparently the 14th best beer in the country.
And the top sour, yeah.
yeah, and there was 100
Top
cartons
sour beer in the
produced.
country.
Yeah, so most of the people who voted didn't even try it.
yeah, but yeah, it was
You
quite
guys should
funny.
try for a Logie next.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anything's possible.
I actually said years ago, because I've lived in Ashgrove all my life. I'm actually about to move out to Kalanga next week.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've moved from
yeah.
Ashgrove to
There we
Kalanga Hill.
there we go.
Great local member out that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Very, very happy. My Mrs. Caitlin is stoked that we're going out there because
Nice.
you're out there. So
And you've done a bit of politics. You had the PM on.
Yep,
What
that was
like?
crazy, man. It was honestly insane. Like, we had a meeting with someone from his team just over Zoom, like months before, and they were sort of like, "We'll see what we can do." And then we didn't really hear back, so we were like, "Oh, like obviously a lot of moving parts there, so no big deal." And then when the election was called, I had just had an email. Clutzy was in Queenstown at a wedding. So like horrible timing, and then
Very fancy looking suit though.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
well,
was
that's
black tie,
I
and
didn't
I
even
thought
know
I
that
better-
was coming. Yeah.
yeah,
So then I had a phone call, and they're like, "Yep, the PM's keen," and I was like, "Awesome! Like that's so exciting!" They're like, "Oh, can you do Thursday?" And I was like, "Oh, my co-host Josh is actually in Queenstown till Monday," and they're like, "Well, it's either Thursday or nothing." And I was like, "Oh." So I was like, "Well, we've been running this joke on our show. I don't know if you've seen it, but the 100% Footy TV show, Cam Smith gets dialed in from the Gold Coast, but instead of having him on a screen in the corner, they have like a huge LED screen, so he's sitting on the panel, and it looks like he's sitting there.
Looks
And
so
we thought it was
silly.
hilarious. Like we'd been talking about it for ages, so I was like, maybe we can dial Clutzy in like Cam Smith. And we were recording a remote podcast the day after anyway with Jack, who we do our sports show with. So I was like, I'll do a trial run and then I can, clip it up and send it to the team. And when I was editing it, I was like, there's no way they're going to approve this. Like, this is so dumb.
looks so silly.
And they were like, yeah, we love it. Like,
bad it's good.
yeah, we'll see you on Thursday. So I was like, oh my God. So it was very like, everyone was asking if I was like nervous and stressed. I was more stressed about the technology and making everything work. Yeah, like once we got going, it was fine. And it probably wasn't until after, because it was such a crazy 24 hours to get it all happening. But it was a wild experience. And then he dials in. Like, I'm sitting there setting up, open the computer, and he's in his tuxedo, and I just lost it. Like, it was so
Way to take
funny.
it seriously.
Yeah, I had the tux on with my footy shorts on underneath,
Yeah.
so it was really it was a really good thing.
I'll have to share a photo with you as well. The funniest thing was when we were trying to set it up, Clutzy's girlfriend took a photo of him. He's sitting in the corner of the hotel room with his tux on and like footy shorts, but then he's holding his laptop, because when you hook it up to the TV, it goes landscape, but we had to have it portrait. So Clutzy's holding his laptop sideways out in front of him.
For the whole time.
I ended up.
That was the trial
I ended
run.
up engineering something and getting it all set
Putting it on
up,
the
but
lamp.
but it was going to be a very, very long haul for the arms. I think the biceps would have cramped up for sure.
So it was pretty silly, but crazy experience, and very cool, very, very cool.
And it's part of quite a trend, actually. Politicians trying to get onto podcasts, and
You might have started it.
I reckon you started
Yeah,
it.
I reckon
guys.
you might have given us a leg
100%,
up
yeah.
there to get the PM. I reckon.
Yeah.
well, I'm chuffed.
We're trying to get the PM on our podcast.
We are trying to get the PM.
Corinne's, we'll put in a word
Challenge.
for you.
Yeah, you could put a good word
Send him a
in.
text.
Put a good word in, that'd be much appreciated.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I think, but it's such a smart thing to do. Like I think like with what you guys did, connecting with the younger audience, like everyone's listening to podcasts these days. You're jumping on TikTok, all that sort of stuff. Like you're crazy not to be trying to do that sort of stuff now.
I think as well, like obviously I knew the PM liked his footy and South Sydney and things like that, but I've never really heard him speak in a long form like that for an hour, and there wasn't really much politics in the chat at all. Like, it was pretty cool to hear about where he came from and the reason he got into politics and those sorts of things. Which I guess on TV and in the media, it's always chopped and changed or whatever. So it was cool to just sit down and talk to him and have a beer, and he punched 2 schooners in pretty quick succession as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that was their whole objective. It was so frustrating for us who knew him that he'd been painted as this kind of out of touch character, and couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
And it's formats like yours that.
Well,
probably
literally
don't show that.
we spoke off camera before it for 10 minutes about the footy, and then afterwards he's like, "Yep, Origin, I'm coming up. Blah blah blah. We'll have to catch up for a beer." Like, all he wanted to do was talk about footy and the Caxton in the car park and how much he loved it. So it was pretty awesome. Yeah.
Did you get him on board for your Alfie Langer table?
Oh,
Heritage
yeah, it's time to
listed
introduce
tourism.
the campaign.
Yeah.
Yes,
6 more
yes.
songs day.
Did you get him on board for that?
We hit a bit of a
Let me
road
s-
bump because
dish.
we made a wager with him. Basically, for those who don't know, we're pushing for a Queensland public holiday the day after State of Origin in Brisbane, being 6 more songs day, given Alfie Langer's video being on the table asking for 6 more songs. Just
It's just a humble request.
yeah, all we want to do is be able to enjoy. We just want to enjoy a few songs.
Well, that's it.
on
As I
Wednesday
said,
night.
we've been doing a bit of stuff on Triple M recently, and we brought it up there, and I said that, New South Wales gets a public holiday after NRL Grand Final and on different race days, and Melbourne, it's just like every sporting event, let's
they
just
ever
have a
work?
day off. I don't think that, no, they don't. So I think it's time that we have one as well
It's
up
our
here.
time.
It is.
But the issue was, we said the PM said he'd put in a good word for us if the Broncos beat South Sydney, and of course they didn't do that. So, but
Is
yeah,
there there's another matchup coming, isn't?
there should be.
There is, I believe. It's,
Double header at the
yeah.
Suncorp.
Yeah.
The Finns and Bronx are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think so, yeah.
Could be on there, because then
The mini magic.
we've also gone a step further. We think, and we've been doing this through our little segments on Triple M, but we've set up a historic landmark at the Caxton, Alfie's table, which he stood on to deliver the 6 more songs
I think
request.
it's 55-star reviews on there already now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
All 5 stars.
Yeah,
All
all
5
5 stars.
stars.
Yeah.
For people who haven't been at the Caxton at 4 a.m, tell us what's the 6 more songs?
So yeah, basically we were actually lucky enough to be up there. The Maroons went up after they won Origin in 2022 maybe. In the upstairs bar at the Caco, and it was wild, just so much fun. And then it came closing time, and they turned all the lights on and stopped the music, and Alfie Langer got up on a table and basically politely asked if we could just have 6 more songs, which I don't know where he pulled 6 from.
One's not enough.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can see it ticking over, and in the video, it's ticking over in his head. Like, how many? Oh, I want 6.
Yeah.
We need
Give us
horses
another
to be the
half.
last
Yeah.
one,
Exactly, yeah.
And then
Robbie Williams got to get a run in there
So
too.
that's the other
Angels.
thing. The brilliant thing about it is now we've got to also come up with what are the 6 songs. So
Horses
it's got to
is
be,
always the last
yes,
one. It's a
Horses
go-home
has to be
song.
there. So
But we're working on a plaque and a framed photo for up there. And like our vision is actually to have Alfie in the opening ceremony cutting the ribbon and people coming to take photos on the table and stuff. So watch this space.
yeah, it'd be great.
Is there enough? Like, would there be enough headspace?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
plenty.
Yeah.
I'm a tall piece of timber. Do you reckon I could?
Yeah,
get on the
definitely.
table and clear the roof.
To put it in perspective, I've been at the top of a ladder trying to get a football off the lights there, and I can't touch the.
Of course you have.
Yeah, we had a
Busy day in the office that day. Yeah.
It was a very interesting day. There was there's an establishment that's it. There's an establishment opposite the Caxton that was giving out mini footballs, branded footballs. So we.
Still
Well,
up
actually,
there.
a few years. It is still up there because a few years ago at a Magic round, Matty Johns was up there, and like the beauty of the Caxton, we get to do some pretty cool stuff. Yeah. Matty Johns is up there, and he was running us through football shape, and everyone's just had a fair few beers at Magic round. And he's running us through attacking and defensive shapes for rugby league. So then we got this mini football. And the whole room upstairs was cleared. And I reckon Das Sterling, the Caxton manager, and I probably spent at least half an hour, 45 minutes just practicing like unders lines and all this different stuff
Putting
on
it
the
into
footy.
practice. Yeah,
And we're
yeah.
kicking the footy up there, and then, it's stuck on a light. So, bit unfortunate. But, yes, there's plenty of room.
And so this is stop 1 on Alfie Langer Heritage Tour. Like, what other stops do we need, do you reckon?
That's a good question. There'd be plenty. Alfie's got some stories, I reckon, as well. So I think he's from Caloundra, or spends a fair bit of time up there. So we might have to head up there and yeah.
There was some talk about also Heritage listing the curb outside because many people have sat in that curb waiting for a taxi outside.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
Yeah,
so
And the wall
putting
for the bottle shop, I've been
Rested up against
rested
that.
up against that many times. My God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've also got all the statues down at the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though they've got the mural at the,
The
Caxton
mural,
now as well.
if you guys
yeah.
have seen that in the car
Yes,
park, it's
yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Just poor old Brisbane Roar missing out on that one,
Yeah.
but that's all right.
We harp on about the Caxton a lot, and they have been very good to us, but it's genuinely on game day and especially Magic Round and Origin and stuff, like there's nothing quite like it. It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think of this proposal to close Caxton Street more permanently and make it more of a kind of festival space?
Well, I don't mind it because during, like, whenever there's a football game on, like rugby league in particular, like it is pretty crazy, and it's not that difficult to get around. Like when they close it off at the moment, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think it'd be awesome if you could have it more of like a walk-through place.
Yeah,
and,
set up a bit better for it too.
yeah, set up a bit better. Hopefully, like venues would probably be doing a bit better then as well if you create a hub for people to come to and
And what would you like to see if the road is closed? What would you like to see in the road?
giant set of footy posts. And then
Oh, yeah, that would be great, yeah.
it'd
That'd
be awesome.
dangerous.
Imagine like an event where you got a giant set of footy posts in the middle, and it's like we'll pick one lucky punter from Caxton Street, and you've got a chance to. They do it on college game days in American football. You got one chance to kick a field goal, and if you do, you get X amount of dollars. If you had the NRL, like you got to be on Caxton Street at this time. We'll pick one lucky punter. Everyone will get around you, kick for cash. It'd be so good. It'd be awesome.
I never remember it either, but you always talk about Seafood Fest, how they used to close the street
Oh.
and license it all.
Don't they do that anymore?
No, they don't license the street anymore.
Something happened where, I don't know, there was something that happened with all the people that own businesses on Caxton Street. But the Caxton does their own Seafood Fest now. But yeah, I remember as a 18-year-old, we used to be sponsored at our football club, Jeeps at Ashgrove, by the LA Hotel. And they gave us all free passes to Caxton Seafood Fest, and it was one of the best days I've ever had. Yeah. Just 18, fresh onto the beer scene, just running up and down, eating food and getting all these like random like Canadian club little hats and stuff like that. Like it was just so much fun.
The LA and the Caxton are like, you know, Simpsons, Springfield and Shelbyville now.
Oh,
right? 'Cause
yeah.
that's like where the Finns are
Yeah.
based.
Yeah.
Versus obviously the Bronx are based
Yeah.
at Caxton, so you wouldn't be stepping foot in the LA.
Well,
much these
I
days.
felt like I cheated on the Caxton the other day. I hosted a QRL event, and it was at the LA, and I just felt
Had to go home and have a
awkward.
shower after, yeah.
Yeah, I'd park at the
Not the first time
Caxton.
that's happened at the
Yeah, no.
Skulk up the road.
I'd park at the Caxton, walk up the road, and I can't. Where you been tonight? Stephen Ross, the owners, where'd you go tonight? Oh, had to host something. LA. I was like, don't worry, I'll plug the Caxton a bit. Like, yeah, right. Yeah, it's all sweet.
You're going to have a hard time out at Kalenga too, because it's, it's kind of Finn's territory out that way as well.
It is. See, I'm actually a Storm supporter, so it's all sweet. But no, I'm excited for Kalenga because we live just near the North Leagues Club, I think it is, or the North Club. So walking distance,
Yeah.
like 150 metres. So it's definitely.
Well, you love the restaurant. Do you remember JoJo's in the mall where you could
Yes.
go up to each? That they've modelled the restaurant on that. So there's an Italian bar and an Asian bar. Yeah. It's
Awesome.
Everyone can get what they want.
That's good.
It's real good.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm very excited
Good
for
price
that.
schooners.
Yeah, good. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between that and the Kalenga Tavern, I'm probably going to never leave Kalenga.
Pretty sad, and you don't have to go too far. You go a bit south to the Murrumba Downs Tavern, a bit north to the new
Yes.
Dackerman Hotel.
Dackerman Hotel looks great.
We drove past
Epic.
the other day. It looks massive.
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. All right. Last question.
Yeah.
For someone, I'm not that into craft beer. I think beer peaked with Forex Bitter and has only been getting worse since.
Yeah.
But top 3 beers at the moment. What are you drinking?
That's a tough one.
At the moment, we've actually got this new one, Albi.
Okay.
So it's they've got it tastes like gold. They've got a 4X Gold and a 4X Bitter version. They
I don't
taste
think
very
it's launched
similar.
yet. It's coming.
So we got given some, had that, and it was just delicious. So I've been pounding that at home.
Bolter XPA is always my
Bolter
go-to
XPA.
for a craft beer.
But
Yeah, I
one
like
that I
8 or
always
10 of those will knock you around. though.
Yeah, I'm no good after 3, but yeah.
one that I always go back to. I haven't had for a while, but it's always in my top 3. It's the beer that I first reviewed and sent to Darcy, actually. It's the Brouhaha Strawberry Rhubarb Sour.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Really good.
It's so
It sort of started
good.
everything for us because it doesn't even taste like a beer. So we were like, oh my God, there's all these wild and wonderful beers out there like this. So that one sort of started it. And I'll throw one more in, one that I like, especially in this sort of weather when it gets a bit colder. I haven't had it in ages, but Garage Project from New Zealand do a cereal milk stout. And it's like, again, this shows the type of reviewing we do. It's nitro. I don't know what that means. Basically, you shake it a bit and then tip it upside down into your glass, and it gives you like a big, thick, foamy head, and it's really
So
good.
good.
So yeah, definitely try that one.
Yeah.
Good tips. All right.
Yeah. Very delicious.
Branch out.
That's
But I like
it.
that you found a craft beer that tastes like Forex Bitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's great. It's great. I'm very, very excited by that one.
Because fruit beers, it's controversial. Some people are either for them or against
Yeah.
them. It's a bit provocative.
Exactly. Like sometimes
Different
they're not for
occasions, I
everyone.
reckon, as well.
I used to be big into my IPAs, not so much now. I just like a lager.
Just like
If
a
I'm-
good lager, straight up and down, ice cold.
If I'm going to the pub, I just want a lager that I can just either smack back quickly or sit on and it's going to taste the same, regardless of the temp of it. But if I want to change it up, the Bolter XPA is the fruitiest I'll go these days, I reckon.
You know who loves a Bolter XPA is Gold Coast Mayor Tom Tate. Whenever I have a drink with
Really?
him, Bolters.
I love it. A schooner of that.
It's-
Like,
oh.
if I'm gonna have a big session, I usually stay away because it does knock me around. But if I'm just having a couple, then like, give me some of that. It's good. The brewery down there is unbelievable as well. Yeah, I had my 30th there. It's good
Yeah, it
times.
was a great day. It was great. It was on the Hottest 100 day. They just kept giving us free
free drinks.
beers every time they got a beer up on the.
That has to be the appeal of having a beer podcast, right? You must get some free beers.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
funnily you say that. I actually was at my in-laws on Sunday, and I lived there for like through COVID, nearly 2 years, and there was like, a box came for Klutzy to their house, and I was like, what? And it was some beers. We got some beers from
sick.
Six String Brewing or something. Yeah, just sent 2 cans. They must have a limited release on or something. So,
Yeah, right.
Like that sort of stuff just randomly happens every so often. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Can't complain.
Well, if anyone wants to send me beer, they should feel free.
We're not sponsored at this stage.
no.
Always accepting sponsors.
That's it. That's it. Reach
that,
out.
that Forex logo is there for free. That's just my logo.
Oh, it's brilliant. That's awesome.
All right, well, moving on to our last and quick segment. This is where we ask our guests. We read out a quote to our guests, and you've got to guess who said it and what they meant, I guess. And Corinne's going to read out the first one.
If you're looking for a sports show that breaks down plays, brings in-depth analysis and jaw-dropping stats, then this isn't the podcast for you.
That sounds pretty familiar.
That sounds very familiar. Yes.
Yeah. That might have been me, or could have been you. I don't know.
I reckon. Yeah, no, that's you, because then I usually tee off with a few swear words
expletives.
afterwards.
Yeah.
But
That does sound like our sports
that's
show.
definitely us. That's our sports show. The whole reason behind that is we're just two average blokes who went to school in Ashgrove, grew up in Brisbane, didn't play professional sport. So why should you come to us to get an opinion on the ins and outs of sport? We more so like.
So this is a spin-off, is it?
Sort of. It's
Sort of,
like
yeah,
the perfect
it's-
example is with the World Test Championship starting this week. Is we were talking about how disgusted we were that Matt Renshaw signed with DSC because we think it's an ugly bat. Like that's the sort of highbrow stuff that we cover off. We're not interested in what his average is. We're just thinking like the optics of it all. Yeah.
Like we've got a co-host on the sports show, Jack, and he literally he has said that Matt Renshaw will never play for Australia again because he signed with DSC and he won't score runs, and put a clip out and everything, and Renshaw commented on it, and Usman Khawaja commented on it because he's also with DSC, and he didn't go too well. Renshaw's not in the side, so I think Jack could be onto something there. But yeah, we also want to like bring the stories of sport. Like I think we even did like a cricket bat rating system. Like ranking of the best brands of cricket bats and that sort of stuff. So we also want to do that side of sport. We will give our opinion on different things, but you're certainly not coming for expert analysis to us, that's for sure.
All right, well, the second one is also cricket related, and the quote is, "Gary, here, please." I don't know this one.
That will be Matthew Wade.
My card says Marnus Labuschagne.
Oh, it was Marnus. Yeah, I've seen that when he was mic'd up. Yeah. I think Gary ignored him as well in the clip. Yeah, that is great. Yeah. Yeah. What's going on? Yeah, the great Marnus Labuschagne.
We might have to play that clip because I don't know it.
Yeah, it's a cracker. Marn's one of a kind, especially when he's mic'd up. We should try and get him on the podcast. Yeah.
I've been, definitely. I've been staying up watching the Test Championship, so it's a nice 3:10 a.m. was the last ball this morning. And Marn in the field is just something else. Like, I don't know what goes through that bloke's brain, but I'd love to be in it for a day. Because the stuff that he comes out with is hilarious. It's like a little golden retriever running around after the ball as well. It's awesome.
He's a legend. Yeah. All right, and now, last thing.
Best part.
Tell us about your sandwich. What do we got here?
I've got a Reuben.
A Reuben?
Yeah.
Corinne predicted a Reuben, I think.
I said it this way.
She was like, what sandwich goes well with a beer? She picked a Reuben.
BT blokey.
Yeah, so I've gone something stock standard. I don't think there's anything better than a ham salad sandwich with a bit of avo.
Avo?
That was my pick.
Yeah.
Avo?
I love
avo.
avocado.
Controversial.
Well, when I was working on the job sites.
That's how you grew up in Ashgrove. Yeah. We're not putting avo on our sandwiches and playing.
Price will number up my way.
I used to
Special.
I used to cop it at smoko time because I'd have this esky, and then I'd have my bunch of lettuce, a tomato. I'd literally pull out almost like a mini kitchen, and I'd sit there at the table, spread everything out, and then make my sandwich, have my fresh bread, deconstruct it, bang, put everything together.
Because you didn't want soggy bread, is that
No,
why?
that's the thing. I think if you can construct it where you are, it's the best. Like white bread, just everything. There's something special about the ham and salad sandwich.
Yeah, all right.
And then I'd replace butter with avocado. Instead of using butter,
The podcast is doing real well there.
Yeah.
Just using avocado instead of
Well, I'm not
meat.
paying for butter, so
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, all right, let's unwrap them. See.
Don't ask me why. Reuben's
Why the
my
Reuben?
favourite.
Tell
It's
us
just,
about the
I don't know.
Reuben.
It just is. Like I just have good memories. When I used to work, I was talking about it before at Ep.3, there's a little coffee place down the road, and they actually used to do bagels, and they had the best Reuben bagel. And when I was a uni student, it was like half my weekly wage, but it was worth every cent. Jeez, this looks unreal too.
Yeah, we'll crack into this.
Get into
Oh,
them.
my Lord.
Get stuck in. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at the
Show
amount of
show
ham.
the
Hey,
camera.
look at that.
Yeah, look at
That is one of the
good
best.
Sandwich.
Ham, tomato, beetroot, cucumber, onion. Yeah, this is great.
I described my ham and salad sandwich the other day to Stephen as a gym membership and a sandwich. You know, it's like it all hits all the high notes. Bit of protein in there, bit of roughage, keeps you regular.
Mine's like a 3-day bender. In
It is. Yours is like yours is a mop up sandwich.
I love this bit at the end where we make you talk with your mouth full. It's great.
No, it's great. It's great.
Excellent.
No, this is delicious.
Yeah, thank you very
That is
much.
so good. Thank you. That is. Reuben looks great as well.
Would you like a bite, mate?
Do
Yeah.
do a sharesies.
Do you want to share?
Yeah, you have a bite.
All right. We'll have a crack at this, and then you.
Take your
Look
good
at that
hand.
cheese, just oozing with cheese.
After doing a podcast together for 5 years and basically being in constant contact the entire time, this is like we just share food now.
I
We
bet.
shared beds. Like,
Yeah. Shed a lot of beds.
Morphed into the one person.
Yeah. It's good fun.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming in, and you know how hard it is to get early guests on a podcast, so we really appreciate.
No, thanks for having us.
Having you here. We don't just want to talk to politicians because that'd get boring.
Real quick.
No, thank you for having us. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you.
been
very much.
awesome.
Stoked to be here. Really appreciate it.
Legends. Thanks so much.
Thanks for
you.
coming in.
I had forgotten how fun it was chatting to those guys.
That was fantastic. What a collaboration.
Yeah, and great Brisbane story.
Two Brizzy boys just muddling their way through.
Yep.
160,000 followers now on social media. Huge podcast.
Yep.
What a story.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in to our podcast with the boys from Bloody Brilliant Beers. If you enjoyed it, please tell your friends. And if you don't want to do that with words, you can do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Like, comment, and subscribe.
See you next time.